Hello everyone, we are Group 5, Poland, and this is our project proposal presentation.
This report aims to analyze Poland's cultural traits, global business environment, bargaining tactics, government structure, political trends, economic freedom index, and regulatory landscape. This information is intended to help the Senior Vice President evaluate the potential for expanding business activities into Poland. The report reviews the country's trade environment, economic stability, and investment climate while focusing on key factors like import tariffs, free trade agreements, and foreign direct investment incentives, which could significantly impact the business's cost and market entry strategy. Additionally, it examines exchange rate trends between the US dollar and the Polish zloty to assess how currency fluctuations might influence pricing, profit margins, and overall financial outcomes. This cultural analysis of Poland uses Hofstede's 6 cultural dimensions to better understand the country's business environment. Poland scores high on Hofstede's power distance dimension, indicating that hierarchy and authority are respected and that decisions are usually made by senior leaders. It also has a very high score for uncertainty avoidance, indicating a strong preference for structure, clearly communicated rules, and thorough planning. Performance and achievement are highly valued in Poland, reflecting its competitive, success driven culture. Poles are moderately individualistic, meaning they value independence while also cherishing loyalty in their close and personal relationships. They tend to be traditional, cautious about long term or unproven changes, and exhibit a more reserved attitude towards indulgence while prioritizing modesty and responsibility over self expression. Compared to the United States, these cultural differences suggest that business in Poland should be formal, detail-oriented, and relationship-focused.
Regarding where Poland sits on the various different global culture scales, they are not only balanced, but they are adaptable. The 4 different culture scales I'm going to be focusing on are communication, feedback, disagreement, and scheduling cultures. Now for each of these scales, Poland sits near the middle and is not extremely on the left or the right of them. For communication culture, they value low context culture. They are precise, but they do have some subtle implied meanings, and that contrasts the United States' more direct style of communication. Regarding negative feedback, it is seen as rude if information is put bluntly, so make sure to deliver it more gently. They view disagreement as a positive thing, as they think that it inspires healthy debate amongst teammates to help strengthen ties. For scheduling, they are slightly flexible in contrast with America's more strict linear plans. So make sure that you are on the same page when doing business. When Poles and Americans collaborate, they spell out ideas, they soften critiques, they keep disagreements more constructive, and they over-communicate timelines so that everyone knows exactly what's going on. These small little adjustments can help turn the different gaps that exist in the different cultures into strengths. Let's now see how these different cultural subtleties help transfer over to business. So if I could summarize Polish business strategies into one sentence, I would say that their negotiation style involves trust, patience, and win-win situations. Poland views negotiation as sort of a two-way street. Poland teams bargain collaboratively. They try to aim for long-term win-win outcomes that are competitive but never zero-sum, so that everyone benefits from the interactions. When doing business, expect straightforward, honest talk, no sugarcoating anything, no hidden agendas, and a slow, more deliberate pace that is built on trust. To succeed when interacting with Poland in business agreements, try to mirror their habits. You're going to want to prepare every detail, you're going to want to emphasize fairness, and you're going to want to stay persistent. Building early relationships is super important. So try to adapt to their direct style so that no one feels misled. Bottom line, I would say, is honesty and patience will help create lasting deals.
Poland is a parliamentary republic with an elected president as head of state and a prime minister as head of government. Recently, Karol Nawrocki unexpectedly won the June 2025 presidential election, defeating his progressive opponent despite early polling. Since assuming office, he has kept Donald Tusk as prime minister, even though they come from opposing political parties. This unusual split in leadership may influence future policy direction and cooperation. Poland's most urgent issue is its proximity to the Russia Ukraine conflict. Recent Russian drone incursions into Polish airspace have heightened NATO security discussions and emphasized the need for stronger defense strategies, including more affordable drone technology. These geopolitical tensions pose risks to business operations, supply chains, and trade routes, but they also create opportunities. Poland plans to significantly increase defense spending, boosting demand for construction materials, infrastructure projects, and the manufacturing of unmanned aircraft. For companies in these sectors, Poland may very well offer a strategic investment opportunity.
Poland's overall Economic Freedom Index score of 67.1 places it in the top 25% of countries for economic freedom. Poland scored high compared to the world's average in investment freedom, financial freedom, and property rights. Poland scored lower than the world's average in government spending. This can be good because Poland is most likely not as deeply in debt as other countries. It could also be bad because Poland may not offer as many public services as the average country. Overall, property rights should be respected and regulations on banking and investments should be low. It is recommended that further investigation be done concerning Poland's public services.
Starting a business in Poland is a fairly detailed and somewhat time-consuming process, typically taking about 40 days and costing between $1,300 and $2,600 US dollars, which makes it higher than most OECD high-income countries. Initial setup begins with notarizing a company agreement, opening a business bank account with the required funds, and registering with the National Court Register for tax and Social Security purposes. Taxes can be significant. A Polish company is required to pay 7 main taxes, including Social Security contributions, corporate income tax, national disabled funds, property tax, transport tax, fuel tax, and value-added tax, all of which amount to roughly 40% of profits. Should contract enforcement be needed, it should be noted that legal cases often take nearly 2 years to resolve. However, mediation is available as a faster and lower cost alternative. Overall, new business opportunities will require a good amount of time and money, and the process should begin as soon as possible. Teams should be aware of and take advantage of any startup tax incentives to help ease initial startup costs. As a member of the European Union, Poland is also a member with the World Trade Organization. Through the WTO's most favored nation principle, all members enjoy equal and predictable trade terms with other member nations, which helps reduce risks like sudden tariff increases or trade restrictions. Currently, the EU's average import tariff is about 5.1%, although agricultural products are much higher, sitting at about 10.5%. This makes importing non-agricultural goods such as textiles, furniture, and electronics far more cost-effective and enticing for business opportunities. The EU also has one of the world's largest trade networks with 44 agreements and more than 76 trading partners. These partnerships open doors for Polish businesses to access global markets efficiently and more cost-effectively. Of course, trade policies can fluctuate, so a business should monitor these relationships closely and adapt as needed.
Foreign direct investment, or FDI, is the direct management of foreign assets. In Poland, foreign investors have an ownership restriction of 49% in air transport, broadcasting, and port operations. Special licensing may also be required. In Poland, if you are not a member of the EU, you must obtain a government permit to buy land. Poland does not limit foreign ownership in the retail sector. They also offer strong FDI incentives such as 12 to 15 years of tax exemptions depending on location. It is recommended further study be done on location-specific incentives and consider leasing property.
Alright, let's take a look at Poland's economic snapshot. Overall, Poland's economy is stable, it is growing, and it is borrower friendly. For GDP per capita, this number hit $18,000 USD in 2024, which is above a global average. For GDP growth, this averaged positive, with peaks like 5.3% in 2022, which is a green light for market entry. Inflation is just below 3%, which is moderate, and the lending rate is only 4.75%, which is cheap and will help us have the capital to help fund inventory. We can use it for marketing efforts or for new hires if we need to. I suggest that we track all 4 of these metrics monthly in a shared log. We can ramp up advertising when GDP ticks up, because this is a sign of economic growth. We can also borrow when rates are low, and this will result in higher ROI. We can pivot faster if we need to, and we can confidently expand.
To wrap things up, we have a 5-year comparison. Poland has shown strong economic performance in recent years, even during significant challenges like the COVID-19 pandemic and the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Stable fiscal policies, increasing consumer spending, and a skilled workforce have supported steady growth of nearly 3%, with forecasts indicating expansion reaching about 3.5% in the coming years. The Polish zloty has also strengthened, attracting investors and reducing import costs, which benefits companies bringing goods into Poland. For an American business, a favorable exchange rate means more affordable inventory, higher revenue when profits are converted back to US dollars, and lower operating costs in Poland. Still, currency fluctuations remain a significant risk. Using hedging tools like forward contracts and money market strategies can help safeguard profit margins. Success in this market will also depend on adapting to EU regulations, partnering with local suppliers, and reinvesting within Poland to ensure long-term growth and stability.
Proposed products. Product number 1 is affordable eco-friendly t-shirts made from 100% recycled polyester sourced from plastic bottles. This addresses Poland's gap in low-cost sustainable fashion. By partnering with local recycling firms, the company can reduce production costs, ensure transparent sourcing, and maintain a competitive edge. The brand's message will align with Poland's cultural values of practicality and community, emphasizing that sustainability is a responsible and affordable choice. Product number 2 is electric vehicle accessories. Poland's electric vehicle market is projected to grow by over 91% within the next 4 years, driven by consumer interest in sustainability and green initiatives. The EV accessory market remains underserved, particularly among renters and residents in multi-dwelling units who lack affordable charging options. Targeting this price-conscious group with portable high-quality charging cables, adapters, and chargers offers strong market potential. Product number 3 is Montessori-style wooden toys that could fill a gap in Poland's toy market by offering sustainable, educational, and affordable alternatives to plastic toys. Establishing large-scale manufacturing would reduce costs and appeal to price-sensitive consumers. Using reclaimed wood and recycled packaging supports eco-friendly branding, while local production enhances the Made in Poland appeal and provides economic benefits to the local area.